Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll speak with the head of the Department of Economic Security. Also tonight, the story of a hip replacement patient who rode his bike across the country, and we'll see how a local company is making new forms of ancient building materials. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The nonprofit group Public Integrity Alliance announced today that it plans to seek corruption charges against Arizona Corporation Commissioner Susan Bittersmith. The group wants the Justice Department to investigate Bittersmith's activities as a telecommunications lobbyist, claiming that Bittersmith violated a statute known as honest services fraud, the same law used to successfully prosecute former Arizona Congressman Rick Renzi. Bittersmith says there's no basis for the complaint and that she does not lobby for any of the companies she regulates on the commission. Timothy Jeffries was appointed director of the Arizona Department of Economic Security earlier this year by Governor Doug Ducey. DES no longer oversees child abuse cases, but the department still runs a number of services considered part of Arizona's safety net. Joining us now is DES Director, can I call you Tim?
You sure can.
Tim Jeffries. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's good to have you. There's so much to talk about, especially with the position, especially you, but what attracted you to the job?
Well, Governor Ducey is a compelling public servant, and I was very humbled and flattered that he would be interested in me joining his team. And although there were discussions about different agencies, I knew, based on where I've come from in life, that the Department of Economic Security was the agency, the only agency that I could or should lead.
What is it about your background that told you that DES was it?
Well, my story is very similar to many Arizonans, many Americans. Broken family, domestic chaos. Father was an alcoholic. My two brothers had troubles. Big brother had learning disabilities. He was always bullied. In the end, he was homeless prior to his horrific murder. So it is a story of suffering that resonates with thousands of colleagues at DES. Indeed,
and obviously that's a compelling background. I mean, you could do the whole show on just how you've gotten to where you are. But as far as service background, this position, some folks say you need a lot of it. Do you have a lot of it?
I have never served government in this capacity, nor have I ever led a venture this significant. But I was certain, am certain, that I could shepherd it well based on where I come from personally. Thrown into the mix, I've been blessed with some education and some leadership experiences that are germane, but honestly what resonates the most with the 7,600 colleagues at DES is that I've suffered in life just like them, just like the 2.2 million folks we serve.
As far as challenges facing DES, what are they and what did you find when you took over?
Well, as you know, far better than I, for years a very dark, a very black cloud hovered over DES because CPS, now DCS, was a part of DES. And kids were literally dying under the banner of DES. And for most of this century, no one was interested in any of the good news coming from different elements of DES because kids were dying. So with DCS out as a separate agency, I've been very blessed to learn about, to give voice to many of the great things that these colleagues are doing every day for those in need.
So I want to get to exactly how you plan on moving the agency forward, but it's been reported widely that you've come in and you've fired 170, 68, whatever it is, some odd people. You call them bullies, you call them liars, you call them slackers. What's that all about?
In my ardent, some would say strident opinion, work is a privilege. Service is a grace. Service to one's government is a blessing, and the opportunity to serve the poor is a noble charge. And it would be fair to say there was a bit of entitlement that needed to be eradicated. And what I can tell you is, of the folks we've exited, if you were privy to the information that I and the other leaders and Human Resources were privy to, you would have fairly clear-minded opinions too.
I was going to say, who actually decided that these were bullies, liars, and slackers?
I was not personally involved in all 172 dismissals. We have built an outstanding leadership team. My deputies, the assistant directors, the deputy assistant directors, the administrators, the deputy administrators. It's the 5 levels of leadership of DES. And armed with the values of what we call the new DES, they're taking action where they deem it appropriate to ensure that our workforce is as humble, blessed, and focused on who we need to serve every day.
As far as those who were let go, what kind of positions did they hold, and have those positions been filled?
All levels of the agency have been subject to the same level of scrutiny. Doesn't mean we've eradicated every issue that needs to be dealt with. It's a massive agency, but it's all levels. And I will tell you quite honestly, when we release one of the more egregious bullies, and there have been some, typically I receive quite a few thank you notes from folks.
But with that in mind, again, I imagine your agency needs all the help it can get.
Sure.
172 some odd people. That's a lot of folks to lose. Are you getting some people filling those positions?
Yeah, critical positions are refilled, but whenever there's a departure, whether it's our decision or someone's volition, it's an opportunity to look at structure, to make sure we're optimizing structure. So some positions have been filled as is, others have been recrafted, some are unfilled. It's a mix.
You know, many reports about you say you're kind of you're a cheerleader. I mean, you're up there rawing the troops, and you have a style about yourself, and that you're personable in a variety of ways. However, some folks are saying, with all this talk of bullies, liars, and slackers, whatever, and the firings that are going on, that there could possibly be a workplace of fear. Are you concerned about that?
One, I was a cheerleader in high school, and some would say a cheerleader in college, even though I played sports as well. I love people. I always see goodness in people. I always hope and believe in the best in people. I am rightfully setting high standards for DES in noble service to the governor. We have values in the agency, and I have approached all our colleagues with the notion that the values of the agency are non-negotiable. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. So, is there fear? Well, I guess if you're a bully, there might be some fear. If you're sexually harassing someone, there might be some fear. If you still make racist jokes, there might be some fear. And I'm very comfortable with those types of people having fear.
Any of those people let go, filed suit?
There have been no suits.
No suits is, okay, all right. I want to ask you about temporary assistance to needy families. That has been cut by the legislature and your boss. And I talked to your boss last night on the air about this, and he said that he wants to make sure people don't become too dependent, want to get jobs, get back out there.
Sure.
But the goal of TANF, it's for short, is to help kids by helping their parents get jobs. Some folks say that cutting this program, some states have 5-year caps on it. Right. Our cap is now 1 year. Is that a good thing for Arizona? Is that a good thing for these families and kids?
Well, it is a humble social safety net, to be sure. And in my opinion, it's wrong for the media to think the governor, his administration, let alone the majorities in the House and the Senate, are kicking 1,600 families to the street, because that's far from the truth. More often than not, the families that come to us, the citizens that come to our lobbies, they need more than one service. So yes, we estimate 1,600 families will no longer receive TANF come the midpoint of the summer, but that doesn't mean there aren't still services available to those families. Throw into the mix, we've already built a plan that will have us regularly engaging these families to help them to what I think we would all hope, which is they get to self-sufficiency. In my opinion, particularly coming from where I came from, a job is a great anti-poverty program. A job is a great pro-family program. There's nothing like a good man with a job.
Understood. But those who decry the move
Right.
say that this was meant to replace welfare to begin with, a form of welfare, and 1 year just simply, when you're, especially you're dealing with folks who are living in poverty and have a whole variety of other issues, that's just not enough time to get families back on their feet again. Is that a valid argument?
Well, having come from poverty, I mean, when my parents were married, we didn't have much money. When my mother finally mustered the courage to divorce my father, we had no money. So I understand and appreciate a year and how short that is. And I agree, it is short. And so DES is working now in engaging those families with the mindset, you don't wait till they're off, you engage them now.
Right.
And hopefully make a difference in their lives so they can make a difference for those they care for.
Last question. You've been on the job for a while. What do you have planned in the future? What do we expect to see from DES? How are you changing this agency?
Yeah. So I've been on the job, I call it a vocation, 247 days. I count my tenure by days, because to the poor, every day matters. And my intent, partnered with leadership, partner with our beautiful thousands, is to make sure DES is the very best agency it can and should be. And ultimately is viewed as one of the best agencies in the state, if not one of the best agencies of its kind in the country.
You think you're heading there?
Yes.
It's good to have you here. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
The Colorado River has carved over 600 miles of canyons in southern Utah and northern Arizona. As sublime as these chasms are, to travelers, they pose a seemingly insurmountable problem. Just how do you get to the other side? A highway marker on US 89A commemorates a successful effort that for nearly 60 years did just that, Lee's Ferry. Mormon pioneer John D. Lee came here in 1871. he established a ferry service across the Colorado River at the only natural point for 600 miles. Lee, seen here seated on his coffin, was executed in 1877 for his role in the Mountain Meadows Massacre, when 120 immigrants heading to California were murdered in Utah. The ferry operated for 52 more years, transporting thousands of hikers, horses, wagons, and even small automobiles across the river. Only the railroad and finally in 1929, the Navajo Bridge made Lee's Ferry obsolete. Today, the original Navajo Bridge is reserved for pedestrians, while the new Navajo Bridge, built beside it in 1995, caters to cars and trucks. While the ferry itself is long gone, the name remains. Lee's Ferry is now the terminus for thousands of awestruck sightseers rafting on the mighty Colorado River.
A Scottsdale native didn't let a hip replacement get in the way of his dream of riding a bicycle across the country. Producer Allison Cummings and photographer Langston Fields have the story.
Riding a bicycle across the country was at the top of 75-year-old Scottsdale native Bob Mount's bucket list.
Well, I've always wanted to engage in what I thought would be an epic bicycle ride, and across the country is about as epic as you can get. And so there is a group of bike enthusiasts who have done these kinds of things, and it was something that I aspired to do a long time ago and never had the time until I was fully retired.
Starting in California, Bob rode 3,400 miles from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic. He left on Mother's Day of this year and finished on the 26th of June.
This is first day, Manhattan Beach. See the pier sticking out into the Pacific Ocean. Our custom was with groups like this was to put your back wheel in the water, and then start the ride. And then when you get to the other end, you put your front wheel in the water in the Atlantic Ocean. And we did that at Revere Beach on the 26th of June.
In order to achieve this goal, there was one obstacle that Bob needed to face. Due to arthritis in his left hip, he had to undergo a hip replacement surgery.
Dr. Ott did a replacement hip for me, a full replacement on the left side, about 15 months before I did the ride, and it was perfect. It worked without, it was a non-issue. I didn't even know it was there. In fact, I knew it was there because my left hip worked better. I had arthritis in my left hip, and it actually threw off my cycle rhythm because it threw my knee out further.
Dr. David Ott, who is Bob's orthopedic surgeon, replaced his hip with the direct anterior approach,
which is a newer approach. That's something that we adopted here almost a decade ago. And it allows us to do the operation without damaging, or hopefully without damaging, any of the muscles. And by not damaging the muscles, it allows them to regain their normal function and it be painless.
This new procedure was an advantage to Bob because the older hip replacement method would have potentially caused him to lose his range of motion. According to Dr. Ott, Bob was ready to ride again in just 2 weeks.
As you know, Bob's a special guy, and he's very motivated, and he's what we do this for, to be able to give someone their life back, to give them their abilities back. That's what it's all about for me, and you know, Bob is the epitome of that, and he's been a wonderful patient.
Bob Mount says he's already making plans to travel across the country again. Two Arizona brothers have hit pay dirt on a farm in Queen Creek. Producer Christina Estes and photographer Juan Magana take us to the Santan Adobe Company.
We're in the middle of Sossman Farms.
You could call these brothers mud farmers.
This is our manufacturing facility.
We produce adobe bricks.
Adobe is the world's oldest green building product. And there's buildings still standing today that are over 10,000 years old.
Their soil is the perfect blend.
Not too much clay and a little bit of sand.
But finding it was, well, kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. Lucky for Jason Manser and John Morris Jr., their father did the legwork.
My dad started it in Congress, Arizona. He was working on a guest ranch in Wickenburg, and they were hauling all the blocks in from California, and he thought that was the craziest thing he'd ever seen. So he decided to make blocks.
And found out that it was a lot harder than he thought. It wasn't just mud and water and make bricks. So he went to the company that was supplying the block for Wickenburg Inn, which is the Hans Sump Adobe Company in Madera, California, who was the world's largest adobe manufacturer. And old man Hans Sump kind of took my dad under his wing and said, well, we'll get you started in Arizona.
But first, John Morris Sr. had to trek across the state.
He would get on airplanes with briefcases full of dirt, crazy thing, and take them to Hans Sump. And Hans Sump would say, no, wrong dirt, go find some more.
It took 8 years for Morris to fill a suitcase with the right dirt from Queen Creek.
My dad was pretty determined, and he was passionate about adobe. That's what he did.
After Morris died, his sons took over Santan Adobe Company. Depending on the sizes, they produced 3,000 to 5,000 bricks a day.
First thing, we scoop up the dirt, we stick it through the screening plant, and then we'll dump it into the other hopper over here, and it goes into the pug mill. The pug mill mixes it with water, emulsion, and mixes it up like a big blender. It's like a dough, that's the consistency of the mud. And we'll bring that mud from the container and we'll put it in these Hans Sump machines. Once the mold is full, it lifts up, drives forward, sets back down, and we just do the same process over and over again. Every 5 to 10 seconds, we can make 24 blocks.
Each one designed to be water and storm resistant. The same sun that dries the bricks also struggles through their density, which can make summer a little more bearable.
At my house, I built a tack room. About 12 o'clock, when it's probably 100 degrees outside, you can walk in there and there's, it's just an 8-inch wall with the barn roof on it, and it's 10 to 15 degrees cooler inside than it is outside.
50 miles away, the bricks from Santan Adobe are the foundation for this custom home.
The color and the feel of it really fit better with the vegetation and with the mountains and in the terrain. Even though it seems static, it's a very flowing material. Traditionally, adobe is very straight, boxy, rectilinear type of homes. Our style of architecture has a lot more curvilinear nature to it. And the adobe works very well in that type of fluid, organic, flowing forms.
The bricks are used in new construction and old. Santan Adobe helped restore the former quarters for military officers at the Presidio of San Francisco.
And what they did is they took 3 feet of the building all the way around the bottom of the building, cut it out and replaced it with our block. And we had to match the block that was there from 200 years ago.
Mansour says their adobe is also used by today's military.
So we work with several different defense contractors simulating structures in Afghanistan and Iraq. The latest one we've done is for RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, and they want to breach a hole in the wall but not level the building, so they use our block for testing.
With so much business and only so much soil, we wondered if Santan Adobe would run out. Mansour says his dad discovered enough to keep him and his brother busy.
We stockpiled about 30 years worth here, so we've got that under control. I guess our kids are going to have to worry about where to get more dirt.
And that's it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thanks for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.